I first became familiar with Clear Spring School shortly after I moved to Eureka Springs in 1975. I became friends with the founders of the school. Some of the founders are still involved with the school today. And I learned that Clear Spring School, it was what would be called a private or an independent school here in Eureka Springs. And it was very, very, very small. When I was a part of the pottery co-op, sometimes the students would come to take a pottery lesson at the pottery there, and it would be only a handful of students, and everything, of course, starts small, and some things are lucky enough to stay small. But so I was well acquainted with the founders of the school, and that gave me kind of a friendship for the place. In 2000 and in about 2000, actually, I was involved in discussions with people on the internet about the loss of industrial arts and manual arts education in schools because I had become convinced in my own life that the relationship between the hands and the brain and learning was so integral and so important, not only to me, but that it had potential for everyone, regardless of what you plan to do in life. That to lose wood shops in school was not a good thing. In fact, I had very fond memories of my being in junior high and taking woodworking and metalworking, and learning quite a bit from that. And so in 2001, Clear Spring School was launching a new high school, and I was talking to the headmaster, and he said, and I asked, "Are you going to have a wood shop in this school?" He said, "Well, only if we had some way to support it." So I contacted my friends that have the Craft Support Foundation, and they said, "Yeah, we'll help you with that." And so we started a woodworking program at Clear Spring School, and it lasted for, well, it's going still ongoing today, but I retired from it in 2000. What's that, 21 already? In any case, I retired after 20 years in the wood shop. And one of the things that I learned from that was the importance of doing real things. And there's a wonderful essay by the name of a guy by Henry David Feldman at Tufts University, and it's entitled "The Child as Craftsman." And what he recognizes in that essay is that every child has the inclination to learn to do things well. They don't always want to do the same things well because they want to differentiate themselves from others. And you notice this in a family. For example, my sister was the artist in the family, so that in order for me to find myself, I went into academics a little more and into math and engineering and those kinds of things because my sister had already occupied that place as an artist. And we all do those things, and every child has an inclination, not just an inclination, I guess you could call it a compulsion to do something particularly well. And instead, we've developed schools in which we expect everybody to do the same thing and jump through the same hoops. And it's so abstract. And every child really feels the inclination to create beauty, to create things that are useful, that serve the family and the community. They hunger for these things, and yet we don't create generally the environment in which those things are allowed to take place. And so Clear Spring School is a little different from the norm because the kids are involved always in doing real things. They and so that's one of the reasons I'm so proud to have been a part of it. And a number of years ago, I think it was in about 2006, we were going through our accreditation project. Every 7 years we go through an accreditation process that assures that we are meeting the industry standards on education. And so we go through the accreditation process. And in doing so, we had to review the school's mission statement, because that's the first step. First, you have to know what the mission statement is, and then you have to see whether you're actually meeting that. And so I was really pleased that the board at that time reviewed the mission statement and decided that we were a school in which students would be hands-on and hearts engaged, recognizing that very direct relationship between the hands and learning and engagement.